bridges is just one aspect of it. It is not analogous to the blockchain world, but literally the real world and being top of mind wherever we go in a thoughtful, organic, value driven way. And so that community aligns so close with our audience from a demographic perspective to a community driven perspective. It speaks of a DAO to me in a way that the fans have control of this live event. And as I had mentioned when I first got here, live events are a top priority for me and for Hoge, so that we can really further, our awareness in areas where people don't have to necessarily go out of their way to find Hoge related content. And this is another step in the right direction. I'm excited to see where that goes. And so on the Hoge Everywhere mission, we have those two things going on. Also, I know that I had mentioned that the word donation was something that is, to me, I wanted to get away from. And here's why. It's just that if we're a DAO, right, and we are a community that is responsible for setting up our own revenue channels and projects and having decisions to make these things to operate that way, right, we have to have liquidity. And while our community, way before I got here, and even now after I got here, has made it clear, is that they're willing to donate, on a daily basis, whether it's $5, $10, $30, and expect, nothing immediately impacting them in return, but doing it for the greater good of the project and the DAO to help us further our goals. And that was really indicative of the community that's willing to go that extra mile in other compared to some of the other projects that might not have that type of authenticity with their community. And I have been thinking to myself on how to evolve that. And so donations with nothing in return is going to be a thing of the past. Revenue generating channels that help us function as a DAO that can be operationalized and have the liquidity to do so is what is coming, and in a big way. Before I dive into that in a few minutes, because it ties in with everything, we can talk about the fun and how that ties into all of this. So we know that we have Adam versus Scotty going to be a streaming event, and I'm here to tell you that that event is now confirmed for Friday, July 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So 3 weeks from now, Friday, July 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific, on Hoge Gaming's Twitch channel. We would think that it's going to be Adam versus Scotty in a game of Fortnite. However, the twist is we would never, ever put our two partners here, Adam and Scotty, and pit them against each other. They bring too much positivity, too much energy, too much community to ever try and pit them against each other. And that was never the plan. And a lot of people might not play Fortnite or engage with that, so it might age myself. But the deal is it's going to actually be Adam and Scotty versus the world. In 3 weeks, Adam and Scotty are going to be on a team, and they are going to be playing Fortnite, and they are going to be battling 98 other people in a showdown. And so who are these 98 lucky people that get to join in on the action and have some fun? And so to answer that, it kind of goes along with that donations with nothing in return is a thing of the past. Very soon, as a staple on our site, we will have our charity prize wheel, and that is going to become a staple to start generating sustainable revenue for our DAO, for our charities, and for the influencers themselves to bring more communities to Hoge to increase our visibility, awareness, and reach across all platforms, all channels, and all communities that our influencers bring that might not be as familiar with crypto or Hoge. And so on this wheel, with every spin, there will be a donation made to charity, a small portion will go to our influencers, and a portion will go to our DAO. So that now we can have our first revenue channel that will live here that allows us to have people, if they want to make a donation, have some fun and have an experience with it. And on this prize wheel, one of the slices will be the 98 people that get to battle Adam and Scotty. So 98 people that spin that wheel will have a chance to spin for a win and play Adam and Scotty on Friday, July 30th. And the great thing about the wheel is that every time you spin the wheel, there are no losers, right? There's going to be something in return for you taking the time to invest a small amount and spin that wheel. And the only thing I really want to reveal right now, before you see the wheel very soon, is that one of the slices is going to be the Adam and Scotty slice. And if you land on that wheel, you are going to be one of the lucky 98 people that get to join the action and battle Adam and Scotty and be part of the other world. And so if you can imagine a situation where you're in Fortnite and you blow Adam's virtual head off and have his emote, the flow, and get to dance the flow after you've done that, that's going to be kind of fun. And that's a moment right there. And then doing the same for Scotty, um, just to have that experience to tell your friends that you blew Scotty's legs off virtually is something that only 98 people are going to be able to make that claim for, and that's if they have the skills to do so. Now, I know that Adam um, isn't the best Fortnite player, but he's got some game, right? And he has his abilities. So I think it's just going to be a really fun moment where everyone gets to come from Adam's community, Scotty's community, and our community, and much like a TV show, get out the popcorn, have some fun, no script, just an organic, authentic moment where we can elicit some engagement and something to look forward to, and really goes in line with the humanizing part of the crypto space, because at the end of the day, we are on the front lines of the next evolution, or iteration of what is coming. And it's not like blockchain technology is going back in the bag. It's coming in a big way, and time is the only variable. And so if we can take a moment to have some fun and just soak up life and be in the moment, I think it's really important, and goes in line with Hoge being everywhere and not just encompassing the blockchain, but having some fun too. And I think it's really important and the start of something that will be a staple moving forward. Really exciting to add some more of the whole program, and really how I'm looking at it for our influencer program, so that there's a lot of value and incentive to be part of Hoge, and for people to authentically want to participate, as opposed to just doing something without any heart or soul to it. So in addition to that, we will be having Adam's Genesis NFT collection, 50 Shades of Blue cardigan dropping soon, and Scotty's Genesis NFT collection that will be dropping soon as well. So you'll be on the lookout for that, and you'll get some information to know when that's coming. But there are some cool caveats with that in a fun way, and I think making sure that that we bring the fun to Hoge in an authentic way and on a consistent, reliable level is part of that whole entire Hoge Everywhere process. So as a second iteration from the prize wheel, you'll see the NFT collections coming out soon. And I'm really looking forward to that. And these next 3 weeks are really going to be the 3 weeks of making sure that everybody realizes at the end of the day that life is short. We take this seriously, but it's also just as important from a mental aspect to have a little fun and engage. And I am always looking for ways to engage with our audience, new audiences, in a fun way to bridge that gap. And I think this is a really, really a great initiative that we're all hopeful will become a staple, and excited to see where this goes, because this isn't something that's a one and done and just do it. We're trying to set the standard here. the standard of fun, the standard of business, the standard of Hoge everywhere. And this is a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. And I know that a lot of times investors and people in the project that are, looking at the project rather, are get frustrated or think, why aren't things moving so fast? What's going on? Are we losing our momentum? Right? But the truth is, we're 5 months old. Okay, and I laugh because when I think about the traditional business world and what a business could accomplish in 5 months, what Hoge has done in 5 months, most businesses just don't ever do for their duration. So when we talk about the speed, right, at which we've moved since we've started, and long before I got here, right, that is something that this community has done without me on this blip or radar at all, right? And it's more indicative about the power of our community and that what straight virality from a committed group of individuals who leverage social media platforms did to raise Hoge's top of mind awareness to a conquesting level and take them from an obscure coin to a $400 million market cap. And that's just off straight organic, authentic, discipline and pushing that content out there. And it is what initially really caught my attention and attracted me to Hoge, to see a community that could do in 5 months. And really, they did it in less than 5 months. We're 5 months old. So this happened, in 3 months or whatever the exact number was. Don't quote me on that. But in a short amount of time, they did what most businesses in their maturity for their entire 10, 20, 30-year duration never had a chance to do. And I think that sometimes it's very easy to forget that and think that this is something that, hey, if we're not continuing to go up, up, up at incredible record breaking levels and paces, that we're failing. And it couldn't be further from the truth. But everybody has a job to do, right? And it takes a standard operating procedure to be able to execute on that in a sustainable and growing way. And since I've been here, the progress that I've been able to see from this entire team and myself, we are working in unity now. There is a synergy here. Of course, there's going to be bumps in the road. I mean, this is real life. This isn't a fairy tale. This isn't Cinderella. This is real. And so it takes grit and tenacity and tunnel vision and confidence and dedication to do that. It takes unreasonable thinkers that aren't trying to adapt this project to the way that the blockchain world sees it. It's about taking that blockchain world and adapting it to our project, the way we see it. Why not? Right? Too many people don't even question that. Their sense of normality is at a level that anything outside of that is just, preposterous or not possible. And that's what we aim to do here at Hoge, the impossible. But it's only impossible if you don't try it. I mean, if you can't put your all into it, of course it's going to be impossible. If you don't have the mentality to think that we can do something, of course we're not going to do it. And that's why I say unreasonable thinkers so much, because that's what we have, a group of people here that believe it. Okay, and whether or not it happens in the end is irrelevant. If you have the mentality, to believe it authentically, that is half the battle. It really is. And it's just about staying focused, not catering to the opinions of people that aren't affecting this project or haven't influenced or tried to better it at all. Because at the end of the day, in my small position here, I'm just a blip in this entire incredible community, right? Like, if I was a guy who had ideas, that's great. There's the idea guy. A million people have ideas, and those aren't going away. It's all about the execution, right? And for us, it's always never been about being first in whatever the idea is before anyone. It's about doing it right and doing it once. And if that takes a little bit longer, so be it, because we're not trying to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. We're doing something different. We're doing it right. We're laying the foundation of Hoge so that it is as solid as a rock, and we don't have to worry about that foundation cracking. So we can build on top of it, brick by brick by brick, right? The only variable for blockchain adoption is time. I mean, those are just facts. And how that, acceleration happens has a lot to do with things that we at Hoge can't control, much less anyone listening in on this, Twitter Spaces stream can control. So it's about letting go of that, but understanding that in my small world, our community small world, everybody that's listening in this small world, having the ability to focus on what they can control to build up to make that difference. And everyone that is listening in here right now has a Twitter page. Most of you probably have other social media platforms. The little ways that make the biggest difference for our community and the people listening here are all about taking control of the narrative for Hoge in your channels and pushing that out in the ways that we do. And those little bits make huge differences. You put out a post, your friend sees it and likes it, and they share it, and now their community sees it. And this strategy is something that our community did extremely well to a professional degree in an organic way to achieve the success that Hoge has had early on. And to build up that momentum again and that sense of unity and operationalized community, this is how we start that. And I know that people are still putting content out there, and thank you. I am humbled. We are all humbled by it in all sincerity, because I don't take that for granted. I spend, sometimes my nights at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning talking to people on the other side of the country that are here for the cause. And to me, I'm humbled that they give me the time of day, that they want to talk about furthering Hoge finance and seeing where it can go. And it is, again, more indicative of the X factor that we have, which is our community. And it's about taking that community and leveraging the power that we all have when our powers combine, the same way it happens in Captain Planet, right? Your powers combine, boom, we make something super. And I use the analogy because it's really true. I mean, may not be literal, but when we all work together in unison and we all take the value that we have from each of our areas and put it together in an organized, aligned fashion and have a go-to market plan that covers use case, utility, virality, right? Content. I mean, we start to build an impenetrable campaign. And I'm really excited to combine our powers together in the way that fits perfectly, because the pieces that we get to look at here every day are pretty special, and they don't exist in the business world. If they do exist, you better have, tens and hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to actually leverage these pieces in a way that will drive the results that matter. Our X factor, again, is our community and our project that brought these pieces here. And so having this, it again is only just a matter of time. And this is that next iteration. And I'm really looking forward to these last 3 weeks of July, and then how that furthers moving on from August through the end of the year. And I think that setting up sustainable revenue channels to help our DAO function with the lifeblood that it needs, that liquidity, so that we can further grow our ecosystems and our projects, is really important. And so moving forward and it'll start to show itself this week. You'll start to see how those iterations pop up. And I think we have the recipe and all the pieces to give us the best chance for long-term, sustainable, and growing success. And again, I am humbled to just be a small part of this amazing community and team. And don't take this opportunity for granted. I truthfully believe that our seconds, our time, is what is most important to invest. Money comes and goes. And if you have an internet connection, you have a brain, you can make money. This is something bigger than that. And if you're dying of cancer or watching someone for a few years slowly die, and you sacrificed a relationship with them in the name of the failing US dollar to have as many commas as you can in your bank account, what is that going to say about you when you're on death's bed? And I don't know, but for me, that's something that scares me. I'm scared to sacrifice a life in the name of money, and in the process not have ruined my relationships with my family and loved ones, all for the dollar. I'm scared to take an opportunity on and not give it my all. I'm scared to not take an opportunity on and regret it later. And to say that this has aligned in a million ways that covers that is an understatement. And so I am here now and just a small part of this awesome community. And with this community together, I think we can do incredible things. And I'm going to be damned if I'm going to predicate it upon making money, the weakest form out there. But I do understand that it is the lubricant of life. I'm not, we need it to survive. And I'm not here to say, don't go make money. We all need it. I get that. I'm just saying, if you have money and you can check your responsibilities, there is a bigger part of life and a purpose. And to further the adoption of blockchain technology and the next iteration of finance is something that I think, helps humanity become, more united and seamless. And what I love about blockchain technology is that it naturally brings that together in such a real, tangible way. Because whether you're an unbanked farmer in a third world country or you're a billionaire hedge fund guy in Silicon Valley, you all can operate on the blockchain, store your value safely, send and receive money, and do a lot of other incredible things. And we have a lot of industries today that are leveraging this technology and just have more mature marketing names for them. I mean, you look at Adam, who is an emote in Fortnite. And Fortnite is a free game, but what did they do? $2.7 billion last year in digital sales, and that's a generation that buys digital products that sees the value in them, and in 5 and 10 years, they're the ones that are in the position of power. And gaming is something that I think is huge and only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and already is a monster compared to some of these other industries that are propped up and looked at as the thought leaders. But as cable contracts expire, right, the wool will be removed from the eyes of the mass general public. And there's a handful of people that see that. I mean, we call them emotes and skins, right? In Fortnite, those are NFTs. They're selling billions of dollars worth. I mean, when I say writing on the wall, the writing's on the wall. And so making sure that we are, looking at it from a logical standpoint of view, as opposed to, the convoluted, headlines that reek of misinformation and ignorance is important to me. And I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there, and crypto needs to be demystified, not only to this community that is familiar with crypto, but to the mass audience with little adoption worldwide right now. 3% more or less, if that's changing. 97% of the people probably don't understand the world of crypto and blockchain in the way that they need to. And so, furthering the mission of Hoge everywhere, we have also aligned and will announce here by the end of the week some partnerships with some of the most authoritative news media organizations in America, so that we can start to control our narrative from the way that we see it and provide that resonating content that appeals to these mainstream demographics in the mainstream audience. It's about Hoge being everywhere. And that mission continues on a number of different levels. So I'm really excited to see these last 3 weeks heat up and carry us into Q3, into Q4, with everything that we have on the plate. A lot of gaming, live events, Hoge everywhere. We are building, deeper DeFi is coming, and I'm really excited. And I hope that everyone on this call is too, because we are just 5 months old. And so I'm excited for that. And I know that we're going to get into some questions and stuff first, or in a little bit, but I also wanted to have Adam come on here, and he was so gracious so that he can talk about the new twist with Adam and Scotty versus the world. And, Adam, you can go ahead and let everyone know how you feel and how you're excited and what kind of fun we're going to have there. Adam, you around? You might be on mute. You might have to unmute.
There we go. I was on mute and I was connecting my earbuds. I have no idea what you just said. What'd you say?
Yeah, no problem. I was just saying that look, and now that the twist is announced, and you, as you knew, we would never battle you versus Scotty. How could we do that to our two Hoge partners here? Because they have too much greatness and good, and it would be a lot more fun to have Adam and Scotty versus the world, where 98 lucky people are going to get to have a chance to blow your head off and then dance the flow on you in the game. And so I just wanted you to talk about the new twist, how you feel about it, and the excitement that's coming.
Yeah, man, no, I'm very excited. Obviously, I always love playing Fortnite, but getting to do it with Scotty and in partnership with you guys is going to be a really good time. And also, kind of with the whole Hoge community as a whole, because we're doing this like spin the wheel thing. So that's very exciting. And yeah, I hope I do get to see some people doing the flow on me. That would be fun.
Oh man, yeah, no, definitely, Adam. We're really excited. As always, humbled for you to be part of our community, and look forward to not only Adam and Scotty versus the world, but before you popped on, I let the world know that your Genesis NFT collection will be coming here very soon as well, and I'm really excited to get that out and let you have that creative outlet to showcase everything that you encompass with being, the blue cardigan guy, man.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm really excited about too. The NFT collection. My brother designed them. He's an amazing artist, and I'm so excited for people to see his work out there in the world. And then also, just on a personal note, I've never sold merch before, because I've always wanted to make sure that anything that I offer to my audience is of high quality. And this was once I heard about NFTs and I learned more about them, it was just a really exciting opportunity to offer them something, what feels like a piece of merchandise or artwork, digital artwork that actually will appreciate in value, as opposed to like buying a T-shirt or a hoodie that like ends up on your donation pile next week. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're excited to be the group here that brings that Genesis NFT collection to the masses. And I think that, right, traditionally, as history has shown, the greatest store of value in our history has been art, right? And this is that
Yeah.
next iteration of art. And while there are no guarantees, facts are facts, and stores of value are safe in art traditionally. And I think that NFTs are that next iteration on the digital level. And to say that I'm excited to be working with you and you working with Hoge is an understatement. And I cannot wait not only to see your NFT collection drop here very shortly, but also see that battle Friday, July 30th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Adam, thank you so much.
Of course, man. I'm excited. I think we're all gonna have a good time.
Me too, man. I look forward to it, and I'll be talking to you soon, buddy.
All right. Enjoy.
Thanks. Thank you, dude. So yeah, there's Adam. He is an amazing guy, super talented, someone who we respect tremendously and think brings a lot of value to Hoge. And I think it's really important that Adam isn't an influencer that ever tried to sell merch, right? There's not. This is his first, effort in selling merch, and what better than it to be NFTs, because that is here and coming and only growing in such a big way, and allows people from all over the world, uh, you know, to have access and participate and take that piece with them wherever they go and showcase it in the many ways now that that you can. So I'm excited to see where that takes us as well from that standpoint. And overall, Hoge everywhere. The mission continues. A lot of exciting things coming. Donations with nothing in return is a thing of the past. Experiences and value come with it. And I look forward to continuing to push Hoge with our community here to new heights and being here, not in 1 month, but 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. That's what's important. And that is the mission.
Awesome. Hayden, you mind opening up a couple questions here? We have a few requests.
Sure. Let's send them on.
Okay, here we go. AS is connecting. Or as, I guess. as they connect, I'm super excited about Adam, what he brings. I think he's definitely a really relatable guy. Very much a normal guy when you talk to him. Very down to earth, very passionate, and I think he just recently had a kiddo, right? So he's a new father as well.
Yes, yes, he is. So he's got a lot going on in his life, and I just love his humor. I have watched him play on his stream, and he's not, he's a funny guy. He's not trying to be the best, but it just brings such a humanizing aspect to the gaming world that I think is desperately needed at times when things do get vicious and intense. And I see that evolution in gaming coming in a big way.
Awesome. So we have
Hey
our first
guys.
question. What do we have here?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
How's it? Yes, we can hear you. What's going on?
Hey guys, I have two questions. Are we gonna have tokenomics on the Matic bridge?
I'm not. Could you say that again?
Is there gonna be tokenomics on the Matic bridge,
You
or
know
are you
that.
not sure?
Yeah, no, I don't think that we have any announcement of a Matic bridge just yet. But when that bridge does come, yeah, we'll have all the information there so that you don't have any questions about tokenomics for sure. And all the bridges, we will have all the information there. And we're not putting a new set of tokens on any other chain. It's really bridges, to bridge it from the Ethereum side to wherever we bridge to, is really what's happening there.
Okay, thank you. Second question: can some of the cores contact CoinGecko so they add the contract for BSC so we get the Hoge logo?
Yes, we've already done that, right? Like that was something day one that we're working back and forth with them. Unfortunately,
Okay.
we don't. It's not like a social media platform where we can simply just change it. But believe me, that request has been put in, and I'm glad that you reiterate that, because it is top of mind, and we agree with you completely. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Sounds good. Do we have any other questions out there? And yeah, it was a good point. We have reached out. CoinGecko, as Hojman has said a few times, they like to touch everything. It's like a human interaction. It was a good analogy there as far as it's not social media is where you can't just go in there and just update a profile. You have to actually have someone on their side change it for us. So good call out there. We have our doctor. Let's see what he says here. By the way, I'm always fascinated to know that how many doctors are actually in the Hoge community. I think last time I think I've counted 6. Maybe there's more. But it's pretty cool to see.
Just a quick question. I know that a few weeks ago you delineated, I believe it was 7 phases of rebranding Hoge and getting Hoge everywhere. Over the past 3 weeks, where do you think we are along in this 7-step process that you delineated?
Well, I think that right now, right, a lot of things are happening concurrently, right? Because if we were in a perfect world and could do whatever we wanted, right, we would hit, as we do in the traditional business world, you hit stop, you go through like your refreshed look and your revamped website, align all your campaign efforts, and then after those 2 weeks, then start. But because we don't have that luxury, a lot of things have to happen at the same time. And so within those past few weeks, right, it's about being understanding our data and our audience, setting up, our initiatives for our campaigns that have started to be activated, operationalizing the influencer activation program, generating sustainable revenue channels for the DAO and our partners so that we can build this. We're knee deep in a website revamp, and refreshing the look and feel of an ever-growing, mature DAO organization.
Nice. Thank you for that. While other people connect to ask their questions, I'll ask another question. So you did mention the donation price wheel, right? Just give us a quick snippet how that would work. I know you said that part of it goes to charities, some part goes to the influencers, another part goes to the association or the devs, right? And so how would it work? Like, let's just say I want to donate $10 right now. What happens?
So if you wanted to donate $10 right now, you'd go to the wheel, you would donate your $10 and have your spin. And on your spin, there would be 6 different prizes, that you could win. And that would serve as a donation, but in return, right, there would be some type of prize that you would receive as a result. And this wheel will live there so that anyone that wants to make a donation doesn't simply have to just send it to like PayPal or wherever it is that they're sending it. They can donate right there directly and have some fun and engage in a wheel that donates a portion to charity, to the influencers, and to the DAO organization so that we have all of our wallets full for every department and can further build our ecosystem with sustainable and dependable revenue. And in a perfect world where we have our revenue channels that are stabilized, it would be nice to be able to confidently predict and say that based on these trends, we can expect X revenue here so that we can budget, our budgets for each department, a quarter ahead of time, or even 2 months ahead of time, or a month ahead of time for money, instead of putting the plan in place and then scrambling to figure out how we're going to get the funding to do it. Setting the plan is one thing, right? But having all the right tools, and in this case, that cash infusion to be able to complete them is equally as important. And so, yeah, this is how that wheel would work. It's going to be something that you come to and get to participate. You put your $10 in, spin the wheel, and see what you win. Does that answer your question?
No, yeah, it really does. It really does. I'll continue picking your brain here since nobody else has logged on to ask questions. But so what do you foresee needs to be in place for us to start reaching out to a wider audience via mainstream media?
Right. Well, look, we've finalized a partnership with one of the largest news media organizations out there, and we'll announce that later, shortly, end of the week or so. But it's about really having, all the resources we need to do so, because we can get to a certain point, but if we're going to be here in 1 year or 5 year or 10 years, right, the double-edged sword, right, is being able to have liquidity and money to facilitate some of these things. There's a lot of goodwill, and we are a decentralized DAO community. I'm like everyone else, is here out of straight passion, right? That's what I love. It's not about collecting a paycheck here 9 to 5. But if we are going to be able to be sustainable and operate and be here 1, 5, 10 years from now, it's about really establishing these sustainable revenue channels to keep the DAO functioning and in a growing way. And when we have that set up, it's a lot easier, right, to accomplish paid media, partnerships, technology, events. There are things that, require a certain sense of an investment, even from Hoge's perspective. And right now, right, it's about filling that gap so that we can complete and grow and plan in a reasonable way, knowing that the revenues.
We lost you there at the last part there, Hayden. If you want to do the last 10 seconds again.
Oh, you lost me there? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's really just like I said, listen, if we're able to grow and reach a point where, we want to tackle like expanding our reach and having paid media and partnerships and events and doing dev work and all these things that, to your point, will help us, expand our reach and connect with these media companies and organizations and grow relationships, right? We have to have that liquidity at a certain point to be able to do so. Everyone is here on their own accord out of passion, and that takes us so far. I've seen where it's taken us, and now it's about having that, the other resources, that liquidity to be able to fill those gaps and be able to realize all these opportunities. Because at a certain point, right, there comes when we're going to be here for 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, whatever that is. We are going to have to have liquidity, and we are a DAO that operates like that, and that is part of the DAO, so that the community, has revenue and projects can build and grow.
With the liquidity that you're mentioning, which is extremely important, and it's partly why we see these big price fluctuations that we've seen. I'll just be quick. These partnerships that we are trying to establish, are these partners going to be investing into the liquidity pool? Is that part of the agreement with these partnerships, or will they just be buying into Hoge, or how would that work?
Right now, things are fluid, but it's all about, everything will be transparent. It's about, being a DAO, and really the idea is that, Hoge as a brand has value, intrinsic value, that other brands or partnerships that are formed are attracted to because of our community and who we are and what we encompass. And I think that, that has a lot of value in facilitating any partnership, as opposed to making a deal where people add liquidity to the pools. And I'm using the word liquidity, and I apologize for confusing, talking about having that cash infusion. And if that manifests itself in a way where they join a liquidity pool, hey, so be it. Whatever works best, and the community likes, then that's the way we go. So a lot of things are fluid when we get down to the minutia of that, but the opportunities and partnerships that we have at our table to unpack and explore at a deeper level are incredible. And so I'm sure that each situation won't be exactly the same, but there will be some sense of uniformed procedure and how it looks and works. And that's kind of the things that we're concurrently working on here today, as everyone's wearing 100 different hats.
Sounds good. Hoge Rider, you want to ask your question? And then I have a couple questions from Discord I'll do after you.
Yes, please. Could we list on L Bank before finishing the donations?
I'm sure that anything is possible, but there are things already set in place. And to be honest, with all the 100 hats that I'm wearing right now, as it relates to the L Bank setup, that's something that I've been not focused on in the last 24 or 48 hours. But we have a team that is better equipped to handle that. And I would say that if you have like calculated or granular questions towards that, to send us an email, send the business team an email, and they can better answer them for you.
Yeah, or if you want.
Okay, thank you.
That's good community things and get them involved. So at the end of the day, it's not, a 5-6 person decision. If the community really wants to push for that now, then by all means, they can advocate for it and start pushing. A good question, man. Let me go ahead and ask some of these other ones that I'm seeing from Discord. First question I see here is, how would one contact somebody to ship a piece of art for them to raffle off?
I'm sorry, how would someone what?
So how would someone contact somebody? So they want basically they have a piece of art that they would like to raffle, and how would they get involved with Hoge? Who they need to contact? Do they need to contact you to do that?
Yeah, go ahead and send an email to marketing@hoge.finance. That is really kind of you and would be incredible. If people have out there prize ideas or prizes that they want to contribute, that's the beautiful thing about this community. And we are always open to any and all suggestions. We are all in this together. Let's never forget that. And we are who we are because of our community members. Okay. And so that is so incredible that offer is there. Send me an email at marketing@hoge.finance, and let's unpack this and figure this out. Thank you.
Sounds good. And we just had another question about the L Bank thing. So to summarize, we have 2 exchanges up on our exchange listings on our website. So if you go to hogefinance.com/donate, you'll see if there's a donation area for that. L Bank was approximately $20,000 to get listed. We have around 25,000 or so in the donation pot. And there's another exchange much bigger than L Bank that's also in there as well. And so the question is, can you tell us more about L Bank? They're just a smaller exchange platform. They have pretty good volume for what they have. I'm not sure how much of it is true or not. I mean, that's not really my research. I can't exactly tell you how much it is. But there's a couple different donation aspects there. There's a marketing wallet. There's a donation wallet for the exchanges if that's what you're passionate about. But I would drive all questions regarding that stuff, bring it to Nation, get feedback, and go from there. So that was a question we had from Discord.
Great. Thanks for taking that one.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, let me double check Twitter, see if we have any other questions here. No other questions there, so let me check Telegram real quick.
Great.
All right.
While we wait, just want to send all the positive vibes and happy energy and all sincerity to everyone's way here. It's Monday. The week is fresh. I get most excited on Mondays. I have a whole 5 days to defy logic on paper. I mean, I have 7 days, unfortunately, but I love it. So I must be crazy to a degree, because this moves me in ways that doesn't move most.
Love it. It's how you, being pumped on a Monday just kind of lays out how things will work out throughout the rest of the week. It's all about attitude, right? And so, quick question, another question for you, Hayden. You mentioned about liquidity. Sorry, I got it confused with liquidity pool. I think you were just talking about us being liquid, or the host
Yeah.
association being liquid. How much do you expect is needed in order for a big media push?
Yeah, I mean, look, it depends on what that media push looks like, right? Because like a big media push is kind of something that is a bit vague in my world, but to be able to connect with, a media organization, entertainment, news, finance, whatever it is that is authoritative, there are a lot of ways that, you can form that partnership that don't break the bank, and that building success and scaling out from there is probably, in my world, the best way to do it, because you need to learn a lot instead of just going all out for like a conquest and conquer type of campaign, especially on the digital channels. So I think, there are a lot of ways to kind of start a partnership, have some visibility, reach that new audience, and then learn from how that, paid media or content or partnership is engaged with, to better tailor the next, part of that iteration with a lot more data, so that, we're targeting the correct audience, that the content is aligned with who they are, and that the creative resonates with the audiences that we're targeting. And it's not all one or nothing for audiences. Different networks, different media organizations, right, attract a different type of audience. And having the content that, from a visual and creative perspective, aligns with who we're trying to talk to and elicit some engagement from is really important. And so it's not about just having all the money in the world to go full shock and awe. It's in bits and pieces, brick by brick, and using, the campaign's data and analytics to support the next effort in a more calculated and refined way.
Very cool. We have our favorite camel on board here. Crypto Camel, what do you got for us?
Hey, what's going on? I just wanted to ask, what can you tell us about like the revamp of the website, if there's anything you can tell us?
Yeah, the revamp of the website is underway, right? And it's something that's concurrently happening with, the other things on our plate. If I turn around right now and I look at my two whiteboards, right, I have 78 action items to complete by Wednesday. So we're very busy here and doing a lot of things at once, but having a revamped website is something that has been needed, and we are working on it. And as soon as it is ready, it will be up. And believe me, it is of importance to everyone here at this organization. I think that we've evolved and matured from our infancy, and to be able to visually convey that with our home base on our website is integral, right? Because if we're starting to launch full scale paid media campaigns and we're attracting, people to come to our website, we want to make sure that what it has and what it encompasses is current, with what we believe our narrative and, KVPs are. And I think that that's important. So it's something that is underway. It's in the works, right? It's a process, but we want to do it right. We want to do it once, and we want it here like yesterday, believe me.
Yeah, and part of the phase one approach, and correct me if I'm wrong, was just getting us the analytics to develop the website, right? What is the most commonly hit buttons on our website? What are the most commonly visited areas? How long are they visited for? And so using that analytics kind of drove the design of the future website. Am I right in thinking that?
Exactly. You hit it right on the head, right? There's a strategy for websites, how you set up like your calls to action, what it looks like above the fold. I mean, there's a lot of elements that go into it, and to just give a new design without, being data driven and where our audience is already, focusing their attention on our sites would be kind of careless. And I think that could, lead to doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different to happen as a result. Now we have the data. We know where our audience spends most of their time. We know where they're not engaged. And it's about refining and evolving the site to tell the narrative in the order that, people crave. And it's artwork, right? It's digital artwork. The website certainly is. And there is a tried and true strategy for the way that it's set up and the way that it's positioned and the way that it looks, all the way down to where the CTA buttons are, your calls to action, and the banners. And so bringing that sense of uniformity and strategy, to this process is a delicate task, because it is so personal and such an important part of bringing Hoge to life in a visual way. And we want to make sure that when we're going on that full conquest, shock and awe, paid media campaigns, and people are coming to our site that we're cooking so that we can retarget them, that the story that's being told from a visual and content perspective aligns with who we are today. And so we know that we need some changes and revamps, and we're taking it seriously and just trying to do it right, because it is a very important part of the whole puzzle, and really is a core of where people will go to learn about us for the first time.
Regarding the website, are there certain members who are working on it right now? Is there like a team, or is it one individual, or?
Yeah, we have a team of people that are working on it right now, getting things together and starting to work on that. So yeah, we have a team on it. Absolutely.
Very cool. Is there any other questions? Yep.
All right.
But one thing, Hayden, if you don't mind, you and I were talking about earlier about just donations as a whole and like the future of Hoge. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what we were talking about?
Yeah, I mean, as I had mentioned, earlier on, right, donations with nothing in return is a thing of the past, right? It's all about, if we're a DAO, DAOs are, responsible for the products, right, and the services that we are going to leverage to generate revenue so that the DAO can function. It's you can't live without sustainable revenue and value-driven revenue channels. And it's about making those revenue channels work in a way that allow the DAO to have a dependable sense of, cash infusion there. But as a bigger part of Hoge Finance and really our mission, it's about, charitable work and being able to incentivize, any of our influencers and partners to be more thoughtful about the way that, they promote Hoge. Because again, what's made Hoge so beautiful is a community working together and the superpowers that elicits. And these revenue channels need to encompass that same narrative and thought process, because when groups and communities and influencers work together, they come from all different, walks of life or different industries. That's where the superpowers and value that each and every one of those groups bring together can elicit, these value-driven revenue channels that can do a lot of good. Charity is big to us, and being able to provide consistent charitable donations, while funding the DAO and allowing our influencers to participate in it, I think is a recipe for success. And I think that is something that we will continue to build out on a deep level. We'll have something more fun for next week that goes along the lines with that. I don't want to say too much more, but believe me, it's all about revenue channels. We're going to be a real DAO. We're going to be here in 10 years. We have to have a handful of revenue channels that have value with them. And at the end of the day, it's really important that we do a lot of good and that we give back, because that is part of our mission. And so taking that to the next level is important. It's priority. It must be done, and we have the pieces to do so. It's time to fit them together, glue them together, and get to work. So yeah, I think that's a good note to end on, right?
Yeah, one last question. Is it Metin or Metin? You have a
Yes, Mateen, you hear me?
Yes, sorry.
How are you guys? Good. No, so I was just looking at the white paper for Q3 and Q4. Maybe going a little left here, but as far as liquidity or liquidity, I should say, what are your plans for incentivizing, liquidity providers for your tokenomics?
Now, believe me, I'd love to get into the granular aspect of it, and I'm a DeFi maximalist long before I've come to Hoge. So bringing more aspects of DeFi are something that is coming in a big way, so that there is tangible value for people and they are incentivized to become liquidity providers. And what I can say without revealing too much is that's my world before I got to Hoge. And Hoge already is a DeFi coin. So it's about, finding the unreasonable thinkers that are like-minded and just like you, right? And bringing that to life. And that's another project that we're concurrently working on in a big way.
Awesome. Sounds very exciting. Good to hear.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely.
If we want, let's go ahead and end this, Hayden, with a couple action steps. If you don't mind, I'll go first, and then we'll have you end. Kind of send us home. If everybody on this channel can support those content developers. You know, you're looking at Jesse Rogers, you're looking at Crypto Camel, you look at Crypto Pulse. These people that are designing things every day for Hoge, go like their pages, go like their YouTube, their Twitters, their stuff. And be sure to like Hoge Gaming as well. Hoge Gaming on Twitch, Hoge Gaming on Twitter. That way you can stay up to date with the whole Adam versus Scotty. You can actually watch it live as it's happening, or you can be the ones playing it live, which is going to be even better. That's my call to action for this week. Hayden, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I mean, look, call to action for this week. Not trying to sound like a broken record here, but it's plain and simple, everyone, right? The power that got us to a $400 million market cap is power that exists, right? But it's dispersed to a degree. Our share of voice has slightly dampened. But those are things that we can control one by one. Everyone in here has the power to control their own voice and control their own social media pages and their own platform. And while we have, 200 people working on 100 different projects, almost, 24 hours a day, the little things that complement that to make the biggest difference is for you to control your platforms and your social media pages to push out thoughtful, organic content that is Hoge related on our current initiatives, on our events, on our happenings, our partnerships. It is everyone on this call that made the biggest difference at one point, and let's bring it back. It's there. We have what people are desperately searching for in other projects, and some of them spending millions of dollars to figure out and are not having success. I don't want that to be taken lightly. We only are who we are because of the community. There is no I in the community, and there never was. It's a we thing. And so when we all work together, we drive the results that everyone was used to in the beginning. So I ask for you to find that fire, that passion, that desire to bring it back and a little bit extra, push out more content. Keep us top of mind with the ways that you can, and it will make a world of difference. It's that simple.
Absolutely. Thank you all, and we'll see you guys next week.
Until next